you know, just like most people in this country, all this extra tension and violence that's going on right now, it just has you just thinking and sitting back and analyzing everything. So I'm an avid movie watcher. I don't know if you follow me for a while, you know, I love movies. I love movies that are based in fantasy and I don't know, monsters, things like of that nature. I like to tap out of reality. But just sitting back, having conversations with my friends and my man and shit like that, it's like, where do they get these ideas from? And then, of course, this bounced off of us just speaking lightly on Sinners earlier because we all saw it. And it's like, I've always loved vampires and vampire movies. And we all know about Dracula and all this other things. But it is odd that vampires' whole being and description and characteristics loosely fit European descendant culture, or Caucasian, I should say. And the light that they paint when they come into people's space is usually cunning, charming, coercion going on some way. Um, they literally suck the life out of you. They get you wound up with the vanity, the possibility, the eternal living, eternal beauty, not aging. Um, and at the end of the day, when you offer basically your blood or to be bitten or your soul or selling it, you become attached to them and have to live this earth forever doing the same thing to others. And that's the only way you'll constantly, you know, live or survive. And that's just kind of like, yeah. And then to what is it when you get personification, I think was used with bats and other things like that, and they made it to where it could be a story but yet it still symbolized something. Now if you really want to get deep, I also think the counterpart, oddly enough, being the werewolf, is kind of loosely based off of African Americans or however. Like, and this is only speaking in the United States term. I know Transylvania and all these other places and shit is really involved and things like that. But when we think of movies and picture film, we think of America. Like, that's what we do. Okay, so I think the idea of making those things against each other in the movies spawned from our racism. Not that it's not everywhere else in the world, but the racism here in America is the main story because we are a land of immigrants. I mean, we are a piece of everything across the world on a piece of land trying to make it work. So we're the main characters when I'm speaking about white and black. Nobody else get offended in no other places, okay? So back to what I'm saying. Think about it. Come with me here. If black people are the werewolves in the situation, the beasts, as we're always painted, the aggressors, the one people who could go up against the vampires and successfully win. But we also don't like to be that way. We don't like to be the animal. We try to avoid the animal. The animal only comes out in the night, not in the day. We live normal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's only invoked when needed, or at certain parts of the month. You know what I'm saying? It's not an everyday thing. But we also give aura, this like this scent to people that they gravitate to us, and we're strong and all this other shit. You know, just whatever. I personally do think those stories spawned from the racist issues that have been in this country for 400 years. And all of these stories, if you think when they talk about other things, oh, Frankenstein, this, the Invisible Man, that, all that shit was also created here in stories that started within the 1900s. The vampire and the werewolves stories that people create always go back to hundreds of years. They always go back further, and they can always make their story fall into place with, if you wanted to go spiritually or just how history actually happened. So now it's like I hate that what's happening is honestly changing my perception of everything I've ever learned and ever watched. But I'm also think that maybe my initial perception of what I learned at the beginning was never right. So I was really blinded in the beginning, and not seeing that a lot of the shit I gravitate and watch every day is truly, truly just based off of the classism, racism, and everything else that's just day to day stuff. Because I mean, movie comes from inspiration. These stories come from inspiration. So, wow. Whoa. I don't know.